There's a question here, is racism allowed in Islam? And if you want to get married to someone for the sake of Allah, can your father say no because he's being racist? Yeah, mashallah. This question's asked often. Racism is not permissible in Islam. I refer to the story of Adam and Hawa in the garden. If we go one step before that and we look at the numerous accounts in the Quran as to why Shaitan is a cursed one, is because he refused. We know the story. Look in Surah As-Sa'ad, Surah Al-Isra, Surah Al-Baqarah. Look through, the accounts are clear. He refused to prostrate to Iblis, to Adam. Iblis refused to prostrate to Adam. Why? Because he said he was made from something that was far greater. He said, you made him from clay. From me, I've been made from smokeless fire. He distinguished and held himself to be superior. Yeah, because of his creation. This was the asl, the root of racism, which is a disease in itself. It's a disease that we see amongst the non-Muslims. It's a disease that we see amongst the Muslims. If the individual is very, what is it, gori, then suddenly it's a nightmare. I'd rather our parents go ballistic. But if he's gori is what, white? Gori. Our parents go, some of our parents go ballistic, some of them will say, yes, marry. But if you come home now and you say, he's kala, which means black, father nearly has a heart attack, mother starts wailing as though someone has died, and even the neighbour's dog might start barking. This is the extent of the racism amongst the Muslims. Now, tribal racism we see, and caste, and I'll bring you a narration, which some who know I'm going to bring it each time start getting nervous and start giggling. A narration that is in volume 2 of Mishkat al-Masabih, and it's under the title of Boasting, and it's been authenticated in Sahih al-Jami' by Sheikh Nasruddin al-Albani, rahimahullah, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and those of you who've got children, it's nice, it's frank, but cover their ears if they don't know this word that I'm going to use. It's not a swear word. Where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you hear one boasting of their lineage, tell them to bite on to the penis of their father, and do not use any euphemism. Do not soften your words. Do not sugarcoat your words. This was the speech of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when we're boasting about our lineage, and you cannot marry Kala, you cannot marry Gori, you cannot marry inter-tribe, because as I've heard, they have to speak Urdu, or they have to speak Punjab, or they have to speak Fusha, or they have to speak this, or he has to speak the Queen's English, and she has to speak Swahili, and she's too dark, and she's too light. They're a farmer, and you're from a rich family. When you start distinguishing according to this, just await destruction of the Ummah, and look at the Ummah as it stands now. Look at some of our sisters who have been waiting for, longer than 5 years, 10 years. I've had sisters ringing me, 40 years old, never married. Because their parents, the person that has come along has not been good enough. I know of a sister who's been looking for ages to get married and has met a total then, 2 years ago, of about 47 brothers. Why? Racism. Now, the father, this is a sensitive point now, sisters, and you have to listen carefully. That does not mean that if your father says, I do not want you to marry X, Y, Z, or brother such and such, because he's black, because he's white, whatever, you suddenly run off with him and have this Jim Screech nikah. What's a Jim Screech? That's the term black people use. This underhand, like, let's go. He said no. Let's go. He said no. Run to the nearest imam. Will you be my wali? Yes, nikah. You've committed zina. Know that you have to get permission from your father. And if the grounds on your father refusing you to get married are un-Islamic, then you have to take it to someone of knowledge. You have to take your specific case to someone of knowledge, so that he can decide. He can address your father. He can try and bring your father round, remind him of ayat and such like. That is the road that you go down, not what we've seen so many times. The sister being enticed by the brother away from the home. I'll get you a wali. It's my friend called Joe Smo from around the way. He does it for free, as regularly as you want. That is not waliship. You are entering into something of fornication, and your children, and Allah knows best, will be something from fornication. Sisters, do not run from your homes like this. Brothers, do not pull sisters from their homes like this. When you've got daughters and someone does it to you, you have 5 daughters, and Ahmed, whose real name is Mick, but he comes to you as Ahmed, comes and entices your daughter away from you, and then you know you've got grandchildren from illegitimacy, and you've been a practicing Muslim for years, but you've just disagreed with him marrying, and maybe your reason's racism. But has anyone came and spoken to you? Has anyone come and established a proof on you? Has anyone been